My soul, Chabad is called, my soul will continue to praise you and will not be silent. Rabbi Miller said, a person can be silent, the entire beloved family, and now became an extended family. It has to continue. It has to continue. Continue in different ways. Like Charles took it, Yemana, we all took upon ourselves things. Continue. The Tehillim, the ladies, the classes. Each one took upon ourselves one good thing at the funeral. Take on one thing, make someone smile. Go in the hallway on Shabbat, or on holiday, or in the street, or anywhere. You see people, there's people down. There's people hunched over, people not smiling. You know what DJ would have done? You don't have to be Purim to wear a costume. That's what DJ taught us. To put on a costume during the year. You don't need a costume. You need to make someone feel good. Put your arm around them. Give them a call, text. Rabotai, we won't need it. No, you don't. Don't be silent. Continue. There's no question in my mind that DJ's Neshama was very, very holy. God sends holy people into the world. How do I know? Look at the effect. Like Adam Gadol, like a Gadol, a great rabbi. He wasn't a rabbi, but he had a soul that could touch people. That could take tragedy and turn it around and make it something positive and inspire people. That cannot stop. That has to keep going. We have to be there for the family. I know the outpouring of support is continuing. But we as a community have to continue to go. And to continue to know, Lo Yidon, don't be silent. Make someone smile. Make someone happy. Give someone a pat on the back and a compliment. You know, whenever I tell somebody, oh, you look like you lost weight. Yeah, really? Right away it starts going like this. You notice? People do it to me, I fall for it. I really feel it. Now I could go have another piece of cake. Like they say I lost weight. I feel it. Even that makes the guy feel it. When you make someone feel good about that, you're DJ. When you make someone smile, you become DJ. DJ will never be forgotten. That's the lesson. Lo, you don't be silent. I have to apologize because I have another Arayat to go to. I would love to be here to listen. I'll listen afterwards. I just want to give the family, Jackie, you and your daughter and the whole extended family, father, the mother, kids. My heart goes out to you. Our heart is with you. And we pray to Bnei Olam. Just like Charles read the Gemara, Nihamtanu, Tabi'akiba, you gave us Nihama. May God give us Nihama and build up the Beit HaMikdash and bring it. DJ and my sister and all the beloved, may they come back and then have a meal.
Hello. Awesome. Very nice. Rabbi Hidri.
2 weeks ago, a friend of mine handed me a CD. She tells me, I think you should listen to this. It was a CD about the holiday of Purim by Rabbi Shimshon Pincus. I gladly took the CD. I listened to it. In the middle of the class, the rabbi quotes a pasuk in Tehillim and explains it with a very beautiful mashal. And the second I heard it, I thought of DJ. Pasuk is in Perek Samach Gimel. David Amel says, Kitov hasdecha mechayim Sefatai Shabahunka. For your kindness, Hashem, is greater than life, and my lips shall praise you. The rabbi's mashal was as follows. So let's say you have a man, he's not so well, he's got to be treated by doctors, he has a heart condition, and he's in and out of the hospital, and he has one doctor that's by his side, day in, day out, week after week, month after month, and the doctor faithfully was by his side until his health was restored. Over the course of those months, the patient became very friendly with the doctor. And he would often go around saying, not only did I get my life, if we would turn to this man and ask him, which of the two is more valuable to you? Your life or your newfound relationship with the doctor? He would say, friends are very important, but there's nothing better than life. And the rabbi continued. So let's say there was someone who was sick, and during his treatments, he turns to Hashem, and he cries out to Hashem, day after day, week after week, month after month. And then, Baruch Hashem, the doctors heal him. But over the course of those months, he builds a relationship with Hashem. This man too also has two things. He gained his life, and he gained a deep relationship with his Creator. If we were to turn to this man and say, which of the two is more precious to you? Which is more important? To that, David HaMelech says, Ki tov hasdecha mehayim. For your kindness is greater than life. And the rabbi explains that the chesed, the kindness, represents the relationship that we have with Hashem. And David HaMelech is saying that my relationship with Hashem, that is greater than life itself. It's true, between man and man, life trumps the friendship. But when it comes to Hashem, the relationship with Hashem is greater than life. A little more than 4 years ago, our friend DJ was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. It was a devastating moment. It was, I'm sure, a tremendously tough time. His life was essentially taken away from him. He told me he had a few months, it lasted a few years, but he was basically lifeless. And somehow he rose up and lived like a lion for 4 years. With energy, with vitality, with optimism, in his signature way. And the question is how? How could someone be so full of life when the most precious thing is being taken away from him? How is it possible? And I think the answer is because DJ knew that he had something that was more precious than life itself. Ki tov hasdecha mehayim. Like David HaMelech says, your kindness, but he meant my relationship with Hashem is greater than life itself. And he committed whatever time he had left to fulfilling that goal. Day in and day out, he decided to emulate signature poems. Hashem was always there. We're privy to see his faith. I will share with you the little glimpse that I had a little less than 1 year ago. It was April 16th, around 7 o'clock in the morning, outside these main doors in the lobby of the synagogue. It was around 7 o'clock in the morning, and it was myself, DJ, and one other person, and we were talking. He was telling us about how he would speak to high school boys, and he was telling us about his chemo, and a whole slew of other things. And mid-conversation, he says, I don't know how it came up, he says, if Hashem takes me tomorrow, I'm fine. I was quite startled. It's not something I expect to hear at 7 a.m. or even at 11, but I said, what do you mean? He says, very calmly, he says, it means my mission's up and I'm good. there with us said, you know, you're not going anywhere, you're fine, you're going to be good, you're here, don't say that. And he just nonchalantly, calmly, just turned to both of us and said, I'm good. If Hashem takes me tomorrow, I'm fine. It means my mission's up. And it hit me that this guy is the real deal. This wasn't just lip service. And I really realized that so many of the lofty levels of emunah and bitachon that I read about were present in the man that was standing right in front of me. He was connected to Hashem. He was really connected. Emunah is often discussed. We talk about it, how it works, why it works, does it make sense, why it works, does it make sense, and we discuss it at great length. But more often than not, we fail to internalize it. DJ internalized it. To him, it was plain and simple. I love Hashem, Hashem loves me, and everything Hashem does is for my best. And he believed it with every fiber of his being. He was connected. Emunah takes a lifetime to master, and many people don't even scratch the surface. And yet somehow, a simple man of 41 years old was able to attain such lofty levels and had unwavering faith at his core. And the question is how? How is it possible? And it's like we said, because he understood that his relationship with Hashem was greater than life itself. And he invested all his energy to develop that closeness. And he ended up creating a deep, eternal bond with his Creator. And the lion, with vigor, with optimism, with energy, with strength, and with courage. Because he was connected to Hashem. Like the words of David HaMelech, Ki tov hastecha mechayim, sefatay shabehoncha. This was perhaps the most powerful lesson that DJ taught us. That there is nothing that's more precious than your personal connection with Hashem. It is even greater than life itself. Tehei nishmato shel Rav Tzar Chaim. Amen.
Jack Pichotto has a few words. And also to be reading a speech from Lori Pichotto, Imam.
I had the privilege to be with Deej for 18 years. We had a very special relationship. We worked together for 10 of those years. We spent holidays, vacations, Point Pleasant trips, and countless Shabbat weekends with each other. Every holiday, Deej would handle the prayers. His knowledge of Torah was beyond incredible. He was always there to bail me and Leo out. Our holidays and family gatherings will never be the same. Deej was like a son to me. I was always in awe of the love he had for my daughter and grandkids. It surpassed anyone's imagination. DJ showed so much respect for me and Lori. I miss him deeply. He was always the one to get us going, the jokes, the games, the music. But I am so grateful for everything he has left us with. What he and Alexis installed in my grandchildren is irreplaceable. There is definitely a piece of Deej in each of my granddaughters, and that will always shine through. Just a few weeks ago, I walked into the Cohen house straight from the cemetery. I was not having my best moment. I sat down next to my granddaughter Linda as she was waiting for her shirt to be cut. I was struggling to be okay. She took one look at me, put her hand on my shoulder,
gave me this huge, beautiful smile and said, "Papa, I love you." And she even went further, pinched my cheek and said, "Abus." Whatever sadness I was feeling, Linda took it out of me in an instant. I turned to her and said, "You know what you just did? You pulled the Deej on me." We both smiled, and I knew right then that we would all get through this, but only because of Deej and the love and lessons he has left us with. I just pray that I can always be learning from all that we were given. My Deej, I love you and will forever miss you. I need a second. I'm going to read Laurie's now. Or Mima. DJ was all about the love of people. We have been blessed to have you, DJ, as part of our family. From the moment you walked through our doors, we knew you would fit right in with us. Your warmth and smile and enjoying life was beyond. I was very fortunate to spend quality time with DJ. We would sing and dance and go on many outings together. Whether we went grocery shopping, Best Buy, Staples, chemo treatments, or to your motivational talks, we always had fun. You taught me patience and kindness to others, which is very important. Once, on our way home from an outing in the pouring rain, a man was riding his bike with groceries, and the bag broke, and DJ said, "Mima, stop the car right now. You have grocery bags in the trunk?" She said, "Yes." He said, "Open the trunk." He got out with the bag, picked up all the groceries, wished the man a great day. Mind you, it was in the middle of traffic, pouring rain. There wasn't a time we were anywhere where DJ wouldn't stop and do an act of chesed. DJ appreciated everyone and everything in life and taught us all to enjoy each other and everything we have. DJ alone, with Alexis, Linda, and Lori, and Caroline, were a team banded together of strength and emunah. I am thankful for all our time spent together. Love you always, Mima.
Speaking of DJ's children, Caroline, please stand up. Oh, Caroline. Caroline wrote a few words by herself that she'd like to speak by herself.
He was really like a cousin. He was like Moshe because he passed away the same day he was basically dead, because that was the day he was diagnosed. He was so nice and we always had fun together. One very fun time was when we went to the boardwalk, just me and him. We ran and got food and toys, and we dipped our feet into the ocean. We even played on the swing set together. My dad was very funny. He got the cheesiest jokes for Shabbat. He was really the best dad I could ever have in my entire life, and I really miss him so much. Whenever I pray, it reminds me of my dad because he always prayed. Something that's really meaningful to me is my dog Punchkin because he's beautiful. Every time I speak with Punchkin, I think of my dad because he also smells like him. Punchkin has a sun on his belly, and that reminds me of my dad because he shines so bright just like the sun.
Max Cohen.
Make the best of the time you have here. Stop thinking about the past because that's depression. Stop worrying about the future because that's anxiety. Be present. Be present for your wife. Be present for your friends. Be present for yourself mostly, because life is amazing. DJ nonchalantly spoke these words of wisdom to my classmates last year when he came to share his medical journey with us. In the hour that he spoke with us, he didn't complain and he didn't ask why. Instead, he recognized the stress that we were facing, and he used his story as a vehicle to teach us this lesson of taking a mindful pause, being present for yourself, and recognizing that life is amazing. My earliest memories of DJ are the summer weekends my family spent by Auntie Laurie and Uncle Jackie when I was just a child. DJ would do crazy jumps on the diving board, play basketball with us in the front, and change his outfit just about every hour. He was a man that would always propel himself forward, advanced his own talents and those of others, and maintained a sparkling, fresh look. DJ always knew the right thing to say to me. He always knew when there was more behind what I was telling him. He could recognize my tone just through text, and he would pick up on areas that I was being challenged and questioned how I would change my thought process. We shared poems and lyrics, voice notes, pictures of sunrises, inspirational quotes, and spontaneous pay-it-forward moments. One summer night, as I lay in bed a little lonely away from home, DJ sent me a recording titled DJ Affirmations 2017. It was a 25-minute recording of him declaring all the things that he is thankful for in life. As I read through some of his own words and infuse stories from our experiences, I hope to relay the recipe DJ gave us to attaining and maintaining a healthy, mindful, and happy life. I choose happiness. Divine love surrounds me, enfolds me, and enwraps me, and I go forth in peace. Whenever my attention wanders away from that which is good and constructive, I will immediately bring it back to the contemplation of that which is lovely and of good report. I am a spiritual and mental magnet, attracting to myself all things which bless and prosper me and my family. Speaking of family, Alexis, Linda, Lori, Caroline, DJ always made sure that you were part of every conversation that we had. Your strength was always apparent to me, but never more so than the night before his passing. Alexis, you held the world on your shoulders, and you never broke a sweat. Your emunah in Hashem is outstanding, and it inspires me to have that same trust. Linda, 2 weeks before your dad passed, we were texting, and I asked how you were doing, and this is how you responded, word for word. I'm okay, because I know everything is going to be okay, and that Hashem is with us, with a smiley at the end. And I've gotten a similar response from you too, Lori. You are both truly amazing. Everything is going to be okay, and know that my family will always be here by your sides. I choose gratitude. The universe pours joy into my life today and every day. It has my cup overflowing with wealth, health, and love. My life is singular, unique, and wondrous. For this, I am profoundly thankful. I choose forgiveness. I release anybody and everybody who has ever hurt me, and I wish for each and everyone health, happiness, peace, and all the blessings of life. I do this freely, joyously, and lovingly, and whenever I think of the person or persons who hurt me, I say I have released you, and all the blessings of life are yours. I am free, and you are free. Last summer, while visiting DJ, he insisted I stay for a class in his house. He revealed to us sometimes where he felt he judged others unfavorably, and how he dealt with it afterwards. When someone said something he presumed to be offensive, he would confront them so that, and I quote, I can get closer to that person. He blamed himself for judging and took the opportunity to become better friends and never to create an enemy. I choose health. The healing intelligence of my subconscious mind, which created my body, is now transforming every cell, nerve, tissue, muscle, and bone of my being according to the perfect pattern of all organs lodged in my subconscious mind. And here comes a typical DJ moment. Water is my favorite beverage. I drink 8 glasses or more of filtered water every day, keeping me healthy and hydrated. Every cell in my body is an expression of perfect health. Every cell in my body is replacing, repairing, and regenerating according to the perfection of my original DNA blueprint. I see the divine perfection in every cell of my body. I send love and appreciation to all the cells of my body. My body is a reflection of perfect health. My body is my temple, and my mind is my sanctuary. DJ truly utilized every cell in his body. At the same summer class I mentioned earlier, DJ spent at least a minute saying Shehakol on a glass of water. And I began calculating 8 glasses a day, 1 minute beracha before, 1 minute beracha after. That's 16 minutes just on 1 glass of water. 2 summers ago, I was lucky enough to help put up the mezuzot in Alexis and DJ's home. DJ was on another level of happiness. He was running around counting the doorways, wanting to make sure he didn't miss not one. He measured with a ruler twice and so carefully made the beracha, placed it on the post, and kissed it wholeheartedly. Afterwards, he called these mezuzot his 19 soldiers that were safeguarding his home, which resulted in both of us writing a poem titled, These 19 Soldiers. One day, DJ called me, Max, you're never going to believe. I was really sick the other day and I couldn't move, and Alexis called Hatzalah, and as they were carrying me out, I saw the letters of Shema flowing off the mezuzah. I wanted to tell him he was hallucinating. But still, who hallucinates about mezuzot and Shema other than DJ? And then tells the story, brushing past the part that he needed to be hospitalized, as though that wasn't the important thing here. I choose wealth. I like money. I love it. I use it wisely, constructively, and judiciously. Money is constantly circulating in my life. I release it with joy, and it returns to me multiplied in a wonderful way. It is good and very good. Hard to believe DJ wasn't referencing the words Ki Tov here, where which Hashem said every day after each new creation. I choose knowledge. As I relax into each situation in my life, I receive divine wisdom and guidance. At every opportunity, I expand my knowledge and understanding. Being inquisitive is one of the top priorities in my life, and I practice this feeling every day. Being well-informed is important to me, and I therefore seek new knowledge every day. I am a permanent student of life. I am an enthusiastic student of life and knowledge and Torah. Knowledge and truth are revealed to me every day, and I am using more and more of my brain percentage. The more I fall, the more opportunities for me to pick myself up and learn from that fall. With dedication and effort, I am becoming an expert in living life to the fullest and sharing that with my family and friends. With every new experience, I gain new knowledge and understanding and love. DJ would call me often to discuss his latest reports and scans. He'd send me documents and ask me to explain stuff to him. Stuff I am sure he already knew. But he loved that connection we had and yearned for new knowledge in any way he could get it. The night before DJ's passing, I had a chance to sit on the bed next to him and see his smile. He was wearing a bright red shirt that read, "Just do it." Typical, I told him. We laughed about it and we began to catch up. After about 15 minutes, he opened his eyes and said, "Max, any longer and your elbow is going to go through my thigh." That was DJ, never wanting anyone to feel bad, until he might lose his leg. He asked me to help put his glasses on. I joked, asking him how he knew it was me if he couldn't even see me. And he said, "Max, I can feel your energy." After receiving a beracha, I kissed his forehead and turned around to leave, unsure that I'd see him again. He mumbled something, but I figured he was talking to Susan Schwecke, who was still holding his hand. Susan said, "Max, he said he loves you." I turned around, walked back to his bedside, and gave him another kiss on the forehead. And I said, "DJ, I love you. You know that. I'll see you soon." That memory doesn't escape my mind. Sometimes I wish I can go back and just push pause and dwell in that moment. The last few weeks have been difficult for me, as it has been for many others. To help, I went to a mutual favorite of ours, Yaakov Schwecke, to soothe our soul. I've been listening to his new song called "I Am Alive" on repeat, because it reminded me so much of DJ. He was a man who declared how alive he was in the face of many challenges. And this past week, Sherry Soror revealed to me that the song was actually inspired by him. And as usual, everything fell into place. DJ is alive in all of us. But there's no time for that now. And I imagine DJ sitting right here, right now, listening to all. I cried a little, but there's no time for that now. So, I love you, DJ. Thank you for making me a better person. Thank
you. That's Bailey.
I had a hard time finding the right words for DJ, simply because it's not that simple. On the surface, DJ is one of our boys, and we loved him unconditionally. I can stand here and tell stories about growing up with DJ, and we can have a good laugh at all the crazy and funny things that went on. There were a lot of great times, great trips, and great memories. I can tell you about how DJ would come over my house most Shabbat mornings while pretending to be at shul, wake me up, hang out till it was time to go home. Or how I would pick him up for school, Cave by the Bay, each and every day. He'd make me wait 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, until one day I just left him. About 30 minutes later, while sitting in class, I got a phone call. "Where are you? I'm ready." He was actually mad at me. However, knowing him the last 4 years was different than the previous 30. Hearing, speaking, and seeing all those that he directly impacted is truly unbelievable. I mean it. It's not believable by anyone who knew him before, except for DJ himself. But what sounded like DJ being DJ before cancer has all of a sudden come to reality. I don't know how to feel at times. I cry because I miss him. I cry because I want him back. But I can't deny that Dave took something that would break most people, and he used it to his advantage and became a symbol in the process for everyone. Young, old, sick, healthy, everyone. Of course, upon hearing the news, he wasn't immediately super DJ, but that's the point. He processed the information, and then somehow he came to the realization that he's not done yet, and until his last breath, he'd fight and stay positive. He beat the heck out of cancer. Going to chemo in costume one time would have been so amazing, so DJ. But every time is not normal. Every time is worthy of the National Cancer Association naming a week after you, the DJ Cohen Week. Radio stations, TV stations, newspapers writing about you. Doctors, nurses, security guards, patients waiting for your appearance. Chemo party attendees standing in line hoping to get in. I'll sit on the floor if I have to. All of them, each and every one, directly impacted, inspired, motivated to be better, live better, love more, appreciate everything from our health to our family and friends. I'm included. I would wear my Team DJ bracelet, and every time I felt anxious or overwhelmed by anything, I'd look at the bracelet and I'd say to myself, what would DJ do? Would he give up? Would he give in? If he can do what he does, I can do this. If he can have a positive outlook, I should be able to. I can't say it always worked for me, and that would make what DJ was doing even more special. His outlook on life during this time was as positive as anyone I've ever known. He had bad days, and he had worse days. He was human, but you could always see him looking for something to be thankful for, something to appreciate or look forward to. Maybe it was a cool pair of sneakers. Maybe it was the next visit. But the words, I love Hashem and Hashem, you're the best, were just a moment away. Look around this room. All of us are still mourning. We're still hurting. And yet we can't help think, my God, what this man did was heroic. He will not be forgotten. What he did will not be forgotten. And who he was will not be forgotten. Simply because his army, the one he made, us, we will not let it be. We can't. We were witness to something. We were witness to a modern day miracle. It's a word that ironically I do not like to use. But I don't know what else his last 4 years were if not divine. He went from a child with dreams of being a poet, a singer, a motivator, an inspirational figure, to a man who was a poet, a singer, an inspirational icon, and a motivational hero for anyone who believed himself. I sit and think now of all that I have personally learned from DJ these past few years and more so months, and I am in awe. I am trying my best to be my best because he has shown me that the purpose in this world is to find what you have that is special and do it. Share it, spread it with love. We all have something to give and it's our job to find it. He's made me look around at the people I know and don't know and wonder what's special about them. What gift do they have? How many others are out there that could possibly be special, that maybe are not the same as everyone else? Deej was by no means the same as everyone else. But look at how special he was. He told me to appreciate my time with my wife and kids, my time with my family and friends, my time doing whatever it is that I'm doing. He told me that life is not to be taken for granted. Health is not to be taken for granted. And your family and friends are not to be taken for granted. Appreciate them. Be there for them. Take care of them and love them. It's all that matters. I'm going to miss my friend dearly, as I know we all will. I'm trying to convince myself that it's okay because cancer gave him this opportunity to do what he has done. He got 4 years. 4 years to the day, to the hour. And the miracle wasn't even the time. It was what he did with the time. I don't know if I'll be able to accept that, but I can accept that DJ has changed the world for the better, and someone that powerful can't be done yet. DJ would call cancer his stinky gift. If cancer was his gift, then he's our present. We need to keep him at our present each and every day as a reminder of what matters most in this world. As inspiration to be better. As motivation to not give up or give in, to not settle, but to work for what you want. He did it in his own way, and he accomplished what he set out to accomplish. He taught me a lot without me even knowing it was happening. I'm going to miss Deej a lot, but a day will not go by without me trying to channel my inner Deej somehow, some way. And I hope the same for all of you, because the world will be a better place with all of us trying to be a little more like Deej. There's one last thing. One last thing I wanted to add was, it's amazing to see how many people DJ has impacted over these 4 years. And all of that would not have been possible without his rock, Alexis. How you shared him with all of us is truly amazing. It could not have been easy, especially in the beginning. But you did it, and you encouraged him, and you supported him, and you loved him unconditionally, and he loved you right back. He was never afraid, ashamed, or embarrassed to express his deep love for you. You were just as inspirational as he was. You are true partners. Thank you.
Richard Jami. Richard, the live stream will automatically work now. Now it'll make sure it works, right? That's it working.
Choose life and you shall live. First off, thank you to Alexis and family for giving me the opportunity to speak. Like many of us in this room, my emotions and thoughts have been in a whirl for the past 30 days. It's always ironic that time moves so quickly, but also feels like forever when remembering a lost one. In preparing my thoughts, there were many DJs I wanted to talk about. So, in tears of joy and sadness, I start to reminisce. The 15-year-old Doc Martin wearing corduroy jacket singing Eddie Vedder impersonating DJ. Or the Michael Jordan legs in the air DJ imitating MJ or the DJ who let me have the number 23 on the basketball team saying that I would be on the floor more and the team needed MJ. Or the voice I used to hear on the Ocean Parkway benches when we used to sing as loud as we want because the cars just drowned out our voices. Then there was the deep thinking DJ in the basement with Spaceboy and the Pad, where we discussed life's journeys, challenges, and paradoxes, always accompanied with a schnitzel from Shibu de Yossi and a little cup of peach snapple. Fast forward 20 years, and all those memories are there. We are in the studio producing a song. Some of you may know it. Many thanks. DJ is like a kid in the candy store. If just for this moment, Diana. But not that this moment would be enough on its own. It's that all moments lead to this moment. Meaning, DJ brings everything he is, everything he dreamed, everything he knows into that booth. The music, the scene, the energy, and of course the lyrics. It all feels surreal. There's no cameras, no fanfare, just a mic, pair of headphones, and a soul that's expressing everything that he is. That was every moment for DJ, and that's the way he lived. Diana. I'm going to bring it all to the table, every minute, every moment, every day. And as I write these words, it finally hits me. The thread between the Air Jordans, the grunge scene, the perfect hair, Scoops Ices, Maggie David talent shows, the early morning sunrises, the costumes, the poems, the 10 steps of greatness, the epic singing of Alive, and the grand finale of For a Dream with the girls on stage. The tears run down my cheek, and I realize the common thread between it all, and it continues to echo in my head. Ubaharte b'chayim leman techiyeh. Choose life, and you shall live. Moshe Rabbeinu tells us to choose life, and you shall live. Well, thanks. Obviously, if I choose life, I'll live, no? It sounds a little redundant. The timing of the statement is also very curious. It's the last couple of verses before Moshe's Hazinu. This means that Moshe spent 40 years giving us halachot, rebuke, guidance, Torah, and he waited right before his passing to tell us the Bnei Israel. This must be big, this must be epic. And that's his closing words. Rambam says that it's a meta mitzvah, one that subsumes all others. So what is Moshe Rabbeinu, the teacher of all teachers, trying to teach us? Moshe is telling us that in order to live, you must choose life. Living's not the same as choosing life. To just be alive is not life. In his brilliancy, Moshe is saying, don't you understand? When we choose to live, we just spend our lives just living. Making a living, trying to figure out what we're here for, finding comfort, having nothing passionate to live for. If you want to live, there's only one way, says Moshe Rabbeinu, by choosing life, and then you live. Just living does not create a self. Just living does not create an identity. If DJ taught us anything, it's that a person has to know that he can create his own reality. Life is the space that gives us our foundations, our bearings, our hope, and creates our legacy. And it makes us eternal. And this is what we all feel. DJ's eternity. DJ's life. His trail of moments and poem and a life that continues to live beyond his years. When we say that he's here, he's in us, we feel him, it's not mystical, it's not spiritual. It's because we hit the core of our essence by experiencing DJ. And how did he do that? It's because when DJ chose life, he was open to all challenges, the joy, the pain, and everything that life had to offer. It was about creativity, development, and change. He didn't choose living, DJ chose life itself. And think about the way he did it. We continue to hear the stories, the effect of young and old, strangers, friends, family. It wasn't personal. Meaning, someone could experience life by climbing Mount Everest. But that's not life. That's just an accomplishment, and you're by yourself. The ultimate is to experience life in sharing with others. And DJ said, come along for my ride. You are with me, you are me, and we ride together. There was a mutuality in his whole being, and it shone through. DJ's commitment to life meant that his relationships that he built with all of us in this room, and everyone he touched on national TV and on the radios, and in the chemo sessions, was the only way to build a reality that lasts. It's with someone. My identity is tied to you, and we create and build together. Choosing life is being vulnerable and putting on dozens of different costumes and still being yourself. Why? Because when you are open and you connect to people through play, you give them the opportunity to connect back to you. Bechira b'chayim, choosing life, is knowing that you're not a threat to me, but you are me, and I am you. And that's how we build. Choosing life is staying youthful, being curious, childlike, and enthusiastic, like DJ. Bechira b'chayim is emulating God and furthering creation. It's connecting to others to form a reality that is eternal. And choosing life is learning how to give, love, and dream with your spouse and with your children. Choosing life is expressing yourself through your poems, music, and everything that you do. And finally, choosing life is to pay it forward. Through every single battle and every bout, we stand strong together, we stand proud. You're always here for me, and I'm always here for you. No matter what the weather, we'll keep pushing through. I got you by my side, and I'm so thankful for. I'm just gonna pay it forward evermore. I was very sad over the last few weeks thinking our 41-year-old friend is not here. To say that I think about him every day is an understatement. What we all learned is that DJ chose life. It wasn't about the years that he lived. It was about the life that he lived. The Chayta b'chayim leman tichye, choose life so you can live. Thank you.
Alan is right.
When asked if I could say a few words about DJ, my first response was, I don't think I can do it. How do I sum up a lifetime of friendship in just a few minutes? How can I possibly put down in a few pages what DJ means to me? What he means to any of us? It's just not possible. Not to mention, I was never very good at public speaking. Then I thought about it, and DJ came into my mind, just like he has for the last few weeks since his passing. He said, you do great. Remember when you played a Hashverosh in our 4th grade Purim play? You were awesome, sick. What are you worried about? Then I realized we got this. Over the last few weeks, we heard so many beautiful stories about the last 4 years of DJ's life. Countless people who he inspired, some that never even had the privilege to meet him. Many of us were lucky enough to witness firsthand what an amazing person DJ was during these same 4 years. How he inspired so many through dealing with his own challenges and such positivity and faith in Hashem. Some of us here were lucky enough to have DJ in their lives for as long as they can remember. I am one of those people. Growing up, DJ was everybody's best friend. He'd go around boosting your confidence, making you feel good about yourself, about the way you dress, the way you sing, the way you prayed, the way you played ball. Some of you here have seen me play ball. DJ had a way of remembering you on your best day and always reminding you of it. But to DJ, every day was your best day. See, what mattered to DJ was bigger than what most of us were able to see. DJ had a way of seeing inside people's hearts. If you were happy, he was happy. If you were sad, he had a way of turning it around for you. Just being with DJ made things better. There was no better phone call, or later on, FaceTime call, than from DJ. He loved FaceTime, probably because he could tell you how good you looked. While catching up with you, he made sure you were always entertained. All he really wanted to know is that you were good. I recently went through years of our text messages. It was so clear what made him tick. How are you? How are the kids? Send me pics. Give them kisses from me. How's your day? How's work? Even on days he had so much to complain about, he'd always put your day first. We used to have this response to how's your day. He used to say, today is the best day of my life. DJ used that term until his last days, and he believed it and helped me believe it too. There wasn't one conversation that we had, and this goes way before cancer, that DJ didn't make mention of Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. Hashem knows best. He would say things like, I'm in a lot of pain, but Hashem knows what's best for me. The level of emunah that he had was evident in everything that he said, everything that he did. We all think we know what emunah is, but being close to DJ, I learned about it firsthand. I don't know if he can ever achieve such a level, but I'm sure going to try. It's what kept him going in good times and in bad, in sickness and in health. For many of us, DJ set the bar in righteousness. I often ask myself, what would DJ do? The response is usually the best available scenario that keeps everyone's feelings in mind. DJ was the first one of us that I can remember ever slowing down to appreciate a sunset. Even at a young age, he was able to find Hashem in things that most of us took for granted. He saw the world differently than most of us. He was spiritual even before most of us knew what it meant. Everything we know and love about DJ was a part of him from way before being diagnosed with cancer. A little over 4 years ago, not long before his diagnosis, DJ was in my office, in between jobs, looking for a new career. We sat for a little while discussing which way to go. They say that if you do what you love, you'll never work another day in your life. So I asked him, if he were to pursue his passions and do what he loved, what would it be? He responded in a quick second. I would love to figure out a way to spend my whole day making people feel good about themselves. Once we realized that a clinic giving out compliments all day probably wasn't going to make any money, we moved on to the next idea. But that was DJ. He always felt good making others feel good. Fast forward a couple of months, and we all know the story. DJ was diagnosed on a Friday. He called me right before Shabbat. I knew he was expecting results that day. He told me that he got the results, but he wasn't going to share them with me until after Shabbat. Enjoy your Shabbat, he said. Kiss the kids, kiss everyone for me, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. That was DJ. He went on for the next 4 years, stepping up to every challenge like the warrior that he was. He went on to inspire thousands, empowering an army of good people that kept busy comforting the sick, surrounding themselves with mitzvot. The DJ's Inner Circle support group, you know who you are. You should all take pride in knowing that you played a huge role in helping DJ fulfill his mission, a mission that seems so clear to us today. Shortly after being diagnosed, some tremendous people stepped in to be by his side. You should all know that he didn't take it lightly. He praised all of you to no end, rightfully so, Team Deej. Alexis, I could write a whole other speech on your praises. Thank you for all the love you helped DJ spread during the toughest of times. Today, we have a void in our lives, a hole in our hearts that is not getting any easier to deal with. I haven't stopped thinking about Deej. I cry mostly, laugh from time to time. I think about the years of good times we had and the lessons we learned from him. Little did we know DJ was our teacher as much as he was our friend. He was a once-in-a-generation kind of person, a once-in-a-lifetime kind of friend. There's so much he left us, we'd be crazy not to try to make changes in our lives to better ourselves. I believe we can slow down, I believe we can be more mindful, and I believe that just like DJ, we can remind our loved ones just how much we love them. I'm not the first one to mention this. DJ ended every call with I love you. Appreciate things that we all take for granted. That's the biggest lesson I learned from DJ. Deej left us all to carry the torch that he lit. Alexis, Linda, Lori, and Caroline, he also left you with an additional 20, 30 uncles sitting in this crowd today that would stop at nothing to make sure that you're okay. We love you, and we will always be there for you. I'll be done in 2 seconds. In case you don't know, 2 seconds was DJ for 2 hours. Deej, I'm outside. I'll be out in 2 seconds. I'm just going to jump in the shower. In closing, I'm going to quote DJ's favorite line from his favorite movie, Braveheart. We all know DJ loves movies. Every man dies, not every man really lives. It sounds a lot better if you hear DJ yelling it in a heavy Scottish accent like William Wallace. DJ lived. He lived more than most people you'll ever know. And in keeping with the theme of DJ helping write his own eulogy, I want to end with a poem that he wrote about friends. There to care, there to share, always and forever, being up for whatever. Let's dance, let's play, let's live it up today. Experiencing ups and downs, creating smiles from frowns, let's climb the rock and we'll meet at the top. Whether far or near, always close, have no fear, for I am with you to the end, my dear friend. Deej, it was a true privilege having you in our lives. I'm thankful to have had the opportunity to tell you this just as your son was setting for the last time. I will love you forever. Many thanks to you, my friend.
I need to touch, please.
David Cohen, David Judah Cohen, David J. Cohen, DJ Cohen, DJ, MJ, PJ, David Cohen, David Aslan Yehuda Shiti HaKohen, David Ben Yafa. When I first met him, we were about 6 or 7. To me, he was just Dave. People travel the world searching for the meaning of life. They scale the highest mountains, they travel the furthest seas. Dave taught us that the meaning of life is not thousands of miles away, it's down the block. It's with the next door neighbor. When we were kids, we had so much fun. We played basketball for hours. And of course, back then, he had no sense of time either. We watched movies for hours. He loved to watch basketball. Of course, he loved to watch Jordan. He loved music. He loved to dance. He always loved to dance. And as we got older, he loved to sing. But when you watch something with Deej, you didn't just watch. He would pause and rewind and pause and rewind to the scenes that he liked. And if you were unlucky enough to be watching a Jordan highlight reel with him, be watching the same moves and scenes over, same plays. Dave, enough. Haim, sick. Is that sick? For the 20th time. And he didn't care about material things, unless, of course, it was a pair of Jordans. That's what mattered. But all along, there's always an intensity of being with him. There's always a sense of purpose, even from when we were little kids. This Benjamin Franklin said something like, the average man dies at 25, but breathes until he's 75. Dave had no interest in just breathing. And when he was your friend, he wasn't just your friend. He was friends with everybody in your family. He'd pop over on a holiday or a Shabbat during lunchtime, and your whole family would be there, your extended family. And he would walk in, hi everyone, I'm DJ Cohen. And he'd walk over and he'd introduce himself to each person. Hi, I'm David Cohen, how are you? David J. Cohen, how are you? He'd go to your aunts, he'd kiss them on the cheek, he'd go to your grandmother and give her the best kiss of all. He wasn't done there. Then he'd go into the kitchen and he would dance with the housekeepers. And he would sing with them in Spanish. And I was standing there, I thought he was crazy. But you know why he did that? That's called respect. He's coming into his friend's house, his family's there. He loves his friend. He loves his family. And that's how you show respect. You introduce yourself and show that there's love for each person there. He taught us what it means to create relationships. He had a way of creating a connection that made it feel like he's been around for generations. There was one time, my grandmother was by my house, my mother's mother, and he's introducing himself. Hi, I'm David J. Cohen. My father's Jude, my mother's Linda. And my grandmother said, oh, did you know my father? My mother said, Mom, he's 18 years old. Your father died 50 years ago. But he had that way of making you feel like he's been around forever. He knew something we didn't. He taught us what it means to be a friend. He taught us what friendship is. Dave would call you, Jaime. Dave, what's up? Jaime. Dave, what's up? Jaime, I love you. Dave, I love you too. What's up? Jaime, hold on. Put you on hold for about 10 minutes. You come back, Jaime, you still there? Yeah, what's up? What do you need? I gotta go. Okay. I thought he was crazy. All along, he was always this huge believer in the human spirit. I remember when we were in high school, we had junior varsity basketball tryouts, and it turns out both him and I didn't make it. So we're bummed out. The next day comes, he's like, Jaime, you're sick, I'm sick. Awesome. We're going to try out for varsity, we're going to make it. I said, this guy's crazy. But you know what? We tried out for varsity, and we made it. We were the only two sophomores in Magnum David on the varsity team. He was an innovator. He was always an innovator. His approach to life made him an innovator. His belief in the human spirit, his obsession with touching people's lives the way no one else would, his approach to writing music, to writing in general, his appreciation for every little detail of our surrounding, whether it was a child on your lap or the sun in the sky. His approach to everything was so innovative. And I can't exactly put my finger on it. When I think about Dave, I think of another very famous innovator. I think of Steve Jobs. I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe it's because they were both stricken with the same horrible disease, exactly the same. Maybe it's because they both succeeding in battling it so much longer than the world thought they could. Maybe it's because they both made their biggest impacts on the world while they were fighting it. But I want to read to you an ad from Apple in the late 90s, from their Think Different campaign. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They invent. They imagine. They heal, they explore, they create, they inspire. They push the human race forward. Maybe they have to be crazy. How else can you stare at an empty canvas and see a work of art? Or sit in silence and hear a song that's never been written? While some see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do. Dave, you were crazy enough to think you can change the world, and in just 41 years, you did. I'm honored to have been your friend. We're blessed to have been part of that world. We'll miss you, we'll love you, but we'll never forget you.
Alan Levy.
It's been 30 days, it's no easier, but bear with me. So I tried to focus on one word for the day, which is really not an easy task when you're talking about DJ. When I started writing this speech, I really thought that word was legacy. Over the last few weeks, I realized that DJ had a very unique relationship with everyone. I realized that everyone took something different from their relationship with him. I realized that he left different messages behind with different people, like pieces of a puzzle that would come together at the right time. Messages that he specifically knew would resonate with each person of his, to leave a positive impact on as many people as he could. Recent trips, we were in Massachusetts with the Abadis and the Habers. DJ was having a bit of a harder time and getting a bit weaker, but we weren't going to let our walk go. Of course, in typical DJ fashion and with typical DJ strength, he surprised me with how far we actually went. All the while enjoying the beauty of nature and listening to DJ thank Hashem for everything we were experiencing. Coming back around to the cabin, as it happened too many times before, I realized DJ was in typical DJ fashion. Within moments, he had her comfortable and smiling, and they were talking as if they were old friends. We all said our good mornings and moved on. It's only now that I realize, looking back, this woman, along with only God knows how many others, would never forget DJ Cohen. And as I listened to all the speeches a few weeks ago, today, and seeing everything that everyone's been doing since in his memory, I knew I had the right word. But as I was thinking of all my DJ stories and formulating my thoughts and trying to put them down on paper, a different word kept running through my head. Family. I've been friendly with DJ for most of my life. I thought that was our connection. But it wasn't. It was our family. I say our family because that's what it was. We as a family were very close with the Cohens. Along with the Abadis, we spent a lot of time together. Barbecues, dinners, countless Shabbats, and absolutely best of all was the great amount of time that we spent traveling together, although it could never be enough. As per DJ, the theme of these trips was always simple: family and togetherness. Whether he was taking all the kids on the bouncy for what seemed like forever just to see them smile, singing by the bonfire, preparing parasha for Shabbat dinner complete with printed questions for everyone to read, making jokes at the table, or coming up with what would inevitably become the theme song for whatever trip we were on, it was about together. Everyone had to be involved. It got to a point that just being alone with the family really meant Annie and all of us together. And as he got sick, those boundary lines blurred even more. We would rely on each other, expect things from each other, get on each other's nerves, fight, love, hug, but most of all, love, hug, but most of all, enjoy each other. We really didn't want to do anything unless it was all together. We would always say how lucky we were to have this family. And it wasn't just the adults. In fact, even more so was all the kids. Watching them, it's really amazing how they all act like siblings. Regardless of girl, boy, older, younger, they all play together, include each other, and always take care of each other. Not only did the bonds between the children grow stronger, but the relationships between the children and the adults became something special. DJ treated all of our kids like his own, always concerned with them, giving them words of wisdom and endless amounts of love, and my kids really loved him. One of the last times I got to spend alone with DJ, while he was giving me the privilege of massaging his feet at 2 a.m., he started to cry. Telling me, telling me the individual messages he wishes he could leave behind with each one of my children. What DJ left us is an extended family, and this is something I'll always be grateful for.
Thank you, Alan. Jordan's ready? Jordan. Michael and Susan's ready, son. That's it.
In a weird way, it feels harder to speak now than at a funeral. It's hard to have so much time to attempt to articulate your thoughts about a person and not continually go back and rewrite every word because it just feels so reductive. So forgive me if this is that. It's harder to justify to myself that even a month later it's still okay to cry, but I'm still so far from over this that the light that's supposed to emerge from this inevitable tunnel of gloom is still as minuscule as it was the last time I saw DJ, fully aware that it would be the last time I saw DJ. I'm devastated. I was devastated when he was diagnosed, when we lost him. I'm devastated now, and I know I'll wake up devastated tomorrow. And I know I'm not the only one. I know that the devastation is a byproduct of having had the absolute privilege of knowing the beauty that existed in DJ, the beauty that he exuded to the world. DJ was our collective gift. He gifted us with the light he shined in all our worlds, and then we were given the opportunity to gift him with assurances that the good he hoped to bring out in anyone he touched wouldn't dissipate with the proximity of his life. And I just want to add, as an aside, that it's easy for me to say that along with DJ, my grandpa Jake and my father are the greatest men I've ever known, and they are. And I'm sure many of you would feel as comfortable saying that about your own fathers and grandfathers, but I have to add a name to my own personal list. David Bailey, you are a special person. You really can't talk about DJ without talking about DJ's girls. First of all, Alexis, you are absolutely unbelievable. As much as we can talk about the bravery and strength that DJ exhibited throughout his life in treatment, it's hard not to think, especially the intelligence, the resolve, the fight, and the incomparable grace with which you've navigated these past 4 years. It's hard to think of you having an equal, and it's the ultimate comfort knowing that your girls have you. And all three of you girls have qualities reminiscent of both your amazing parents. Linda, I remember the day shortly after DJ's diagnosis when Sarah and I took you out for breakfast. We were still coping with finding out that your dad had cancer, but your parents hadn't told you yet. I can still see you sitting in the back seat of the car asking, out of nowhere, does my daddy have cancer? And there was no fear, no quivering lip, no hesitation on your part. As much as it was terrifying to hear that question from you, in hindsight, the way you asked it exhibited so many of your best qualities. Your maturity, your intelligence, and level-headedness. You are the quintessential big sister. Laura, you share so much with your father, his fearlessness, his legendary sense of humor, and his dancing ability. Every time I watch that video of DJ dancing at my wedding, I cringe when I remember that the video starts with you essentially dancing me off the floor. Caroline, you're like my best friend. When you were tiny, you and I have had a special bond. You know the rest. And thank you for letting me borrow little Funchkin to help me keep my cool up here. DJ's legacy isn't for me his courage, his humor, his costumes, his poetry, his inspirational speaking, or his music. His legacy is the four of you. As for DJ, it's hard to find an appropriate finish to the sentence that begins, "We've lost a." Unique soul, great guy, beautiful person. You can't describe DJ with a label. The days when you would be around DJ and ask yourself, where did this guy come from, were equal in number to the days you didn't. The particular combination of characteristics that combined to form DJ are unique in my experience. It was easy to see because no matter what group of friends or family he was surrounded by, and he had a lot of both, he stood out. He wasn't loving husband and devoted father. He wasn't one of the funniest people you'd ever met. He wasn't fearless and oftentimes shameless. He wasn't incredibly intelligent. He wasn't incredibly kind. He wasn't the most sporadically avid fitness nut. He wasn't the inspiration and namesake for the best damn chicken soup on any menu in Manhattan. He wasn't unique soul, great guy, beautiful person. He wasn't my brother. He was DJ. I was thinking the other day about DJ and his love of music. And for reasons I can articulate only now, my mind kept returning to this beautiful stanza by the great Jewish poet Mark Knopfler. Now the sun's gone to hell, and the moon's riding high. Let me bid you farewell. Every man has to die. But it's written in the starlight in every line in your palm, we're fools to make war on our brothers in arms. I was thinking about why I kept hearing those lyrics. Certainly the majority of it is on the nose, maybe too much so. But it was those last two lines that I was stuck on. What did they have to do with DJ? Or did I just have a random song stuck in my head, which isn't out of the realm of possibility? But for me, when I think about those lyrics in the context of DJ, it represents a perfect shift in perspective from us, the observer, who experienced the lost in the preceding lines, to DJ talking to us, reminding us to continue to carry the torch that became his mission, to be kind. When I spoke at my grandfather's funeral, I spoke about integrity and about how I believe it to be the most important quality a person can have. And I still believe that. But it wasn't until we lost DJ that I started to think about what he had accomplished these last 4 years, what he had fought for and hoped for. I've spent my entire life undervaluing the importance of simple human kindness, And I wasn't remotely cognizant of that until February 27th this year. And now finally I can say to DJ the same words he said to my father one time. Brother, you got me. We're fools to make war on our brothers in arms. We're all family united by our love for and relationships with DJ. And if there's any positive to take from our collective loss, it's that. To remember that. To be kind. To move through life with open-mindedness and respect for each other. I love you, brother. I'll miss you every day of my life. But I'll try my damnedest to make you proud. You are the best of us.
Arayat, how did you go? I know you're here, I just know it. But how can I possibly accept that I will never see you again, hold you again? I'm struggling as reality has taken a new toll. Some days I'm lost and some days I'm found. They were spot on when they said, we will have good days and we'll have bad. Learning to separate the two is the tricky part. The roller coaster of death is absurd. 1 minute, I think I'll never cry again. I got this. And then, within 30 seconds, I'm in the car screaming at the radio station that just played his favorite song, even though I purposely put it on. I was so worried with Deej before cancer it wouldn't come back to my mind. I ran around like a lunatic all month trying to grasp you, us, our past. It came back, all of it. And now you'd be super proud of them. We've had many people, and the showers are worse. Miss you like stop missing you. Stop missing you. Thank you.
حنيا فلك الشاوم يرسال الرجل خصوص السيال في خاطر بالك من رسول الإيمان فلا يسمع الصدور يقول لا يدير